Hello everyone, this is Harley from Garden FL and welcome to episode 21 of the Tropical Fruit Gardening TV series. And in this episode we're going to be going to my farm in Punta Gorda because a lot of things has happened this past few weeks. I've been planting out so much and also so many things have been growing. So I just want to go out there today with you guys and plant some more things. I actually am bringing some baby plants, some baby Rollinia, papaya and mango, so I'm going to show you that right now. Okay, so I'm getting the car ready to go to some papaya, and these are actually Rollinia seedlings right here, baby Rollinias, and these are just doing beautiful. As you see, the new growth is doing great, and I coined these the extra large Rollinias because they were just huge. And I actually have an ice cream bean here too, Ingavera ice cream bean. So yeah, we're gonna go to the farm and bring that and plant it. So I want to give an update on these bananas. This is actually dwarf Cavendish banana, and as you see, the bananas are just hanging there, really nice. They're getting some good size to them already, and you see the more flowers are on the way. Look at that. Hello, so we're here at the farm, and the first thing I noticed once again is my Barbados cherry tree. It is just loaded so as you see, this fruit tree is just so easy to grow here in Punta Gorda. This tree has only been in the ground for about, I would say, 3 months now, and it's already producing so much fruit. So you see, here's the Barbados cherry. You see, super sweet when it's red, and you can also eat them green like this. They're more crunchy, but still very good. Now, I can sit here and eat at this tree all day, provide so much food just for one person. I love this tree. So this is just actually one tree I have out of 4. Here's another one. As you see, this one's even more loaded. So we're just gonna pick a few while we continue to do the tour. As you see, the mangoes are all doing very well, and we are gonna come out of dormancy very soon because as you see right there after the tip, this is Maha Chinook, but this one's about to flower. So this is just this section, the left side of the farm. So this is actually my star fruit Garambola tree, and this variety is actually the Sri Kembangan. So this is the Sri Kembangan variety. It's actually a Thai variety, and this one is said to be super sweet, so that is why I'm growing it. I also am growing Huang Tung and Carry, but this one to me, the Sri Kembangan variety, seems very productive. As you see, it's only been in the ground for about 3 months, just as long as a Barbados cherry, and it's already producing and holding fruit. So even though my farm is very young, I still have a bunch of fruit trees that are producing. This is a guava actually. And something that I've had to deal with recently is, just making sure all the plants are well watered because we're out of the rainy season. So now it's gonna be, a task to make sure they're all watered during the drier seasons of the Florida month. So this is something interesting. Right here, there are some jack beans hanging from a sugar apple tree that I put. Now I planted some jack beans all around my food forest, mainly to be just a chop and drop source, but actually I have some Tai Long beans here too, and here's the Tai Long bean. As you see, I need to actually plant more. So this is the second Garambola tree I have. As you see, it's the Huang Tung variety, and it has new growth right here, and it's just doing really well. It'll still be a few years before this will fruit and flower, so we're just gonna leave it grow really nice. My second star fruit tree is right back there where I just was, so this is something I want to show you guys, and this is really cool actually. This is my Jaboticaba tree. This is a Sabra, and as you see, that's the new growth right there. It's really pretty. If you guys don't know, Jaboticaba is a Brazilian tree grape. It's a really, really interesting tree to grow at your fruit farm or at your house. You can grow it in containers or you can grow it in the ground. So I plugged it into the ground because I wanted to actually get huge, and it'll be about a few years. These won't flower for another 5 or 6, maybe 10 years, but I don't mind waiting. As you see, the leaves are just beautiful. And actually the Sabra variety tolerates Florida soils much easier than other varieties, because a lot of people grow Jaboticaba actually in the pot because they grow really well in pot. The root system is actually very sensitive, so that's why people like to grow them in pots. You can control the water, and in fact, Jaboticaba loves the water. So Jaboticabas actually love water, and that's why I planted it right next to this swale. And when it floods during rainy season here, this fills up with water, and Jaboticaba can just, you know, really survive on that. There's a lizard right there, actually. It's looking at me. Anyways, I wanted to show you guys also this passion fruit vine that I planted about a few months ago. It's all the way to the top. Let's see if we can see it. As you see, it's all the way up there, reached the very top of the tree. And I need to, as you see here was the actual stem. Right here is the tag. As you see, the Panama red, Passiflora edulis, large red skin fruit. So I can't wait till this one actually flowers, because as you see, it has all the space and climbing spaces that it needs. And that's not the only passion fruit vine. I have various others around my property. So that's just one of them. As you see, this is a beautiful, I believe it's called a yellow rose apple. I'm not sure exactly, but it just has beautiful foliage. I really like this tree. And it's right next to my wax jambu. Now this wax jambu is a Thai jumbo. It's actually a very little tree because the air layer is very small, but it's gonna grow. It's gonna take its time. So I can't wait till this one actually grows. And this is all in line with the sugar apple roll. My baby sugar apple roll that I planted in my previous video. As you see, these sugar apples are all doing fine. They actually look a little beat up because they're gonna start losing the leaves here we're in November, at the end of November, about to start December. And by January, these sugar apple leaves should pretty much all be gone. Some of them look good, but some of my other ones over there are looking ugly. So this is actually my property line right here. And something that I did along my property line is actually I planted various fruit trees. This one right here is actually mamoncillo, or actually known as guinep, Spanish lime. It's like a sour lychee, but it's a very good tree. And you need a male and a female to actually produce fruit. So I planted about 5 seedlings. As you can see, this one's probably the biggest one I have right here. And you know, I'm hoping that I get a female and a male out of the 5 that I plant. But it's actually all along my property line. As you see, there's another one. Right here is another one, and then you know, another one. So we'll see, but it's just going more back. Back here is the area I wanted to show you. So it's been a while that I showed you the back of my property. Now it's still a work in progress, of course, but the mangoes that I planted are actually starting to flower. So this is the dwarf Hawaiian mango, and as you see, it's sending out new, those are actually flower buds. So we're here at the end of November, and it's already sending out flower buds. Now this variety is the dwarf Hawaiian. Now dwarf Hawaiian is a dwarf tree, produces very tasty mangoes, and you know, I'm looking forward to the fruit. But these are going to be little agroforestry lines back here. As you see, I have various things. This is blimby, very beautiful tree, produces a sour fruit. And just all along here I have yucca. Actually I planted yucca last week, and it's actually growing all along my property. This is Mexican guava, I believe. As you see, the beautiful new growth on this Mexican guava. It's just really liking the soils here at my farm, so I'm happy that everything is growing so well. And this is actually a neem tree. As you see, the neem tree even has new growth. Neem tree you can actually use as repellent to all insects, various other health elements too. You can use the leaves for teas and itches, a lot of things. Very good tree. And right next to it is actually another Barbados cherry trees. Now I have 2 Barbados cherry trees in the back of my property. But you know, the thing that I noticed about these ones in the back of my property, number one is they don't get enough sun as of yet, because I still have all these overhanging trees, and I'm gonna trim them, most of these about halfway, to allow more sunlight in, but still, you know, keep them and create kind of like a small bonsai. That's my plan. But upcoming right here, as you see in the back of my property, I have another Barbados cherry tree placed, and yeah, it still produces fruit pretty well. Not as much as my ones in the full sun, but these fruits actually come out to be a little non-sweet as compared to the ones in full sun. So I want to show you, continuing on, this is actually persimmon. See, the bud just broke on the persimmon, so I can't wait. This is Fuyu persimmon. This persimmon season is right now. This one actually has no leaves. But moving on, I want to show you this beautiful flower that I have planted here. Now I believe this is nitrogen fixing flower, but I bought this at a flea market a long time ago, and it finally flowered here at the farm. So I'm very happy that it's just doing very well. Beautiful yellow flower. And right behind it I have, that is roselle, but this one is actually needs to be staken up better. So I'll fix that later. But right here is actually a neem tree, beautiful neem tree. Now I have neem trees actually all over my property because I'll be using the oil and everything else. But this is actually curry leaf. I'll be using this one for cooking, and this right here is a pink wampy. But right behind us, for all of this actually, is some other of my good trees. This is actually my dream Actamodia. This dream is actually doing really well. As you see, it had slight color discoloration, but once I planted it, it turned back to a nice dark green color. Now this one probably won't fruit for another 6 years, 5-6 years. I'm gonna let these trees get very large. Right here it's very small, but this is actually a seedless guava. Now I got this from Leaf in West Palm Beach, but as you see it's very small, so I'm gonna take very good care of it. And just to the left of it is another yucca, but better yet, this is a Gefner Actamodia tree. Now I love Gefner Actamodias. I love all Actamodias. Look at that lizard. Shout out the guardian of the Actamodia. But look, this Actamodia is just doing mighty fine, mighty green, putting out a lot of new growth. But like I said, all unknown is right now, at the end of November, December, January, they're gonna start losing their leaves pretty bad. As you see, this is the beautiful macaque sapodilla. Now these trees actually are dwarf sapodilla variety from Thailand, and they produce a edible fruit that has edible skin is what I mean to say. And this is my Malik sapodilla, and right over there we have Alano, and we have Pakistani mulberry, a variety of mangoes. But I want to show you guys back here. I have to do a more in-depth tour because I just have so much fruit trees in a small space. This is a peanut butter fruit tree, and so much things have been planted since my last videos, so I just want to kind of catch you up on everything. This is moringa. As you see, we'll take some of this too to eat. You have a full hand here already. This is Harvest Moon mango. Now if you guys don't know, Harvest Moon actually produces a mango that's about 3 to 4 pounds plus. It produces a really fat, thick, big mango. So the tree itself needs to be really huge, so I'm giving it this whole space to kind of take up. And you just see right back here is going to kind of be where my shack is going to be, where my shed. So it's going to be right back here. Back there is elevated land, so that's where I'm going to put all my avocados, because avocados need to be as elevated as, not as elevated, but as well drainage as they can. But right here I planted some papayas. Now this is actually a yellow seedless papaya. Not seedless, but just a yellow, actually I believe it's seedless, but it is the yellow papaya. Beautiful thing. I actually had to transplant it back here because it was dying way at the front of our property where it gets actually a little wetter. But right here I have another papaya, the unknown variety, but I think it's a type of papaya. I'm hoping it's a type of papaya. So this is something I don't think I showed you guys. This is at the back of my property, but I actually have a bunch of fruit trees planted as a fence line, because something that I always want to do is just have a fence line just of fruit trees, because why have a fence when you can just have fruit trees? So this is long gone. As you see, this long gone is actually pushing out new growth, but not as beautiful and pretty as this long gone over here. Now these long gone came from my friend Mike, Urban Jungle Project. So thank you Mike for these beautiful long gone. Now look at this beautiful new growth. I'm just amazed by how beautiful this leaf is. This one right here is new growth as well. And right over here is actually Inga Vera. Inga edulis. So this is the Igna edulis. As you see, it's so pretty, the new growth, and it was just so pretty earlier too. It had a very dark kind of red growth like that long gone did. But this is just on the fence line too. I want a big Inga edulis so I can just eat the fruit from. Of course, I just plant sugar apples everywhere, but right back here is where I'm going to plant a bunch of avocados. And the reason why I'm planting it back here is because of that. Now that's actually a big just drainage, so if it ever rains, the avocado has very good drainage. I'm gonna plant them all here. Some of these trees are gonna have to go or just be trimmed because this is gonna need more sunlight eventually, but it's just beautiful. That area I believe is mine as well, so I'm gonna do something right there. This is a beautiful flower that I've actually brought from my house, and I air layered this from a tree and just planted it here. I'm glad to see that flower. It's beautiful. So this is something I just found. This is a Noni fruit. very ripe and ready. It might be overripe. But here's a tree it came from, right above it. As you see, the tree is still holding fresh noni fruits. And now this, actually I want to eat it, but I'm not sure. I think I just should eat it, but it smells kind of bad. I really like the leaf of the noni. It's just so big. And this one's yellow, so we're just gonna use it as mulch. But here is another little section right here, but Malaysian papaya getting ready to flower. You know, I just have some other things such as a dragon fruit, moringa tree right there. This is actually a lychee, sweetheart lychee, beautiful lychee. This is a sugar apple, another sugar apple, and this is a soursop. Right back here, I actually just planted Rolinias, more baby Rolinias. The ones that I brought today, there's one, and I'm actually planting another one. Just planted another one actually right here. I need to finish watering it, and I'm gonna plant some more just alongside it. And this is gonna be another little Annona section, just because I have Annonas all right here. This is actually a red custard apple, along with mountain soursop. And right back here I have another Rollinia from seed. You see the Rollinias from seed are just doing very well on the new growth. So right now we're actually going to be harvesting some of the Barbados cherries because it's almost sunset now and I'm about to go. So I want to bring some Barbados cherries home to eat. So we're going to harvest them now. Let's see. Oh wow. As you see, they just come off pretty easily just like that. And like I said earlier, I really like these red ones up here because they're the most sweetest in my opinion. I just love that shiny kind of glossy look it gives off. And there's some right down here. And I like to clear this tree every time I come here. I come to this farm, my farm, about 3 times a week. You know, I try to come as many times, but sometimes I just have a lot of things going on at home that I need to take care of. So someone in the grass. And as you see, some have been falling into the floor already. But we're gonna take all that we can. Beautiful. And this looks like it had some insect damage to the fruit, but we'll still take it. So this is the amount I have so far. I have a few more on here to get, and then we'll move on to the next tree. So that should be good. We're gonna go over here. This one doesn't have as much because, to be honest, I was eating these throughout the day. So we're just gonna, should be good. It's so pretty. We'll take some of these. So this was the final amount. As you see, it's not too much, but you know, I bet next year we'll be able to fill up this whole hat, or maybe in 2 years. But you know, with the amount of trees I have right here, it won't take too long for them to grow to a good size till we get a really good harvest. But for now, this is enjoyable. So right here we have June plums. Now, I would have usually harvested these a bit earlier, but I can tell the squirrel has been trying to get to them or something. So I'm gonna harvest a few now, just so we can bring to us home. And you know, next year I'll place or plant some of these more in full sun. This was kind of in shade, so it didn't get to grow as big, you know, as it could have. But let's see if there's some good ones. Now, the color on these, they do look dirty, but this doesn't really matter. You can eat them just like this. Of course, you can wash them, but it's just a skin cosmetic thing. It's nothing, you know, too serious. You can actually pickle these if you want, or you can wait till they ripen on the tree. They actually ripen yellow, the June plum, but I like to eat them green, so I think that should be, you know, a good amount to take home with us. And this right here are actually Thai long beans. Now my Thai grandma actually requested me to plant some at her restaurant, so I need to bring some of those because I planted some here, but I didn't get a chance to eat them. So good they went to seed. And this is the entrance of my property. But as you see, everything is just turning out very well, very beautiful.